Hello, good morning. My name is Hans Christian. Today, I want to tell you about the truth about expiration date. Best by, use by. None of these dates tells you when the food gets bad to eat. In fact, food can still be good even after the expiration date in the label. According to food safety experts, eggs can be eaten 3 to 5 weeks past their sell-by date. As for canned and dried food, they can last indefinitely. And if good food isn't handled properly, it can actually go bad before the expiration date on the label. Even something as leaving it out on the counter too long or setting your fridge at the wrong temperature can make shelf life shorter. Overall, the expiration date is not really reliable. Instead, you have to check your food for signs of spoilage like change in smell, color, or texture. Except milk. Even after milk is spoiled, it's still totally safe to drink. A lot of people think that we might get sick. But actually, milk is pasteurized, which means any harmful bacteria was removed before it was packaged. It might not taste great, but the risk of drinking spoiled milk is zero. Even though I don't recommend that you drink spoiled milk. A lot of people think that the federal government safety regulation is the one who put expiration date on foods. It was actually the food manufacturers themselves that put the expiration date, except baby foods. Then, what is expiration date is for? It is to tell you when the food manufacturer thinks that their food is best to be eaten. If we eat past the label date, it still tastes pretty good, but manufacturer thinks it's not good enough because they want us to eat their food at the best time, or the customer might buy something else. But it's not dangerous to eat the food after the label expired. A senior scientist at the Natural Defense Council, Dana Condor, she also the co-author of Major 2013 Harvard report detailing the massive problem with expiration date, stating that the people trash over 72 billion kilograms of perfectly good food every year. Roughly about 40% of this food supply is thrown out, and this confusing date are a huge factor. The worst part is, we trash all this perfectly good food while billions are going hungry. Now, I will tell you the short history about expiration date. Date labeling became popular in the 1970s. Instead of growing our own foods, people began to buy from the grocery store. Then, people get nervous and said, if we're not growing it, how do we know it's fresh? Then the supermarket came up with an idea of voluntarily adopted the open dating system, which stamp a month, date, and year on the product. How super helpful is the supermarket? And at first, it was more of a way to say, we think it might go bad around this time. But it caught up, and now people started treating it like this is a law. And in 1973 to 1975, at least 10 bills were introduced to set standards for food dating system. And this is some fact that you might not know about the expiration date. Number 1. Use by, best by, sell by are not the same thing.
Use by is a guideline on how the manufacturers want the consumers consume their product. After that date, the product quality decline quickly. Sell by is just for retailer. It tells them when the product gets taken off the shelf. Best by is the time frame where the product is most flavorful and have the nutritional content on the label. Number 2, it's not just food that have expiration date. Nothing lasts forever. In fact, some of your home utility might got not effective some time ago. Products such as disinfectant, bleach, and battery often lose their usefulness within a couple of years or less. It's because their chemical structure eventually degrades over time. Medicine also have similar effect, but rather being necessarily harmful, it can often just weaken their effect. This can lead to mix-up in dosage, so it's safer to simply dispose and repurchase. Number 3, some products have extremely long shelf life. Some products last longer than you think. Common dried food like rice can last up to 25 years. Well, as canned product and Twinkies are often good for 30 years. Even some product never expired, like honey. Honey have infinite shelf life. Some archaeologists even dug up ancient jar of honey. Surprisingly, are still edible. Honey is so good at fending off the kind of growth that make it rot that honey is often used for antiseptic treatment for wounds. Number 4, a new sensor can detect spoilage in food. As the war of food waste rage on, scientists are coming up with new methods on detecting food deterioration. In 2015, Finnish researchers developed a sensor that can detect ethanol, a key indicator of food spoilage. Meanwhile, another team at MIT has created a sensor that can detect gas emission in rotten meat. This device can help reduce food waste throughout the distribution chain, and are extremely portable and can give the user more accurate reading of when the product expires, so you can stop relying on those confusing labels or the sniff test. And both devices can interface with the smartphone. In fact, number 5, there are many apps that help reduce food waste. Sometimes you don't need a label to tell when the food had to be eaten now or throw away. New apps such as PairUp is a platform for retailers to sell almost expired food for a discount. And Trucking Against Hunger allows trucker to give undelivered food to local charity. Another app such as Green Egg Shopper records purchase and expiry date to help you plan ahead. And Food Lobs lets supermarkets send you notification when price on short-dated items are reduced. Food Cowboy is an app that restaurant can use to give their extra food for non-profits. So, are you interested on using some of this app? And that's some fact that you might not know about expiration date.
Thank you for watching, and I hope this video is useful for you.